Hey everybody, and welcome to Epic Everyday, our weekday podcast for busy, stressed out Christians who don't want to just survive, get through the day, all that jazz.
Yeah.
Who instead want to thrive, to really have energy and joy and zest in their lives.
Yeah, we believe there's more to life than just scraping by and getting the most basic necessity things done.
Yep.
God's called us to bigger things than that.
Mm-hmm. I'm Liz Frericks, and this is my husband, Evan.
Good morning.
And we're so glad you guys are here with us on Monday. Woohoo!
Yep. Happy Monday.
Yes, happy Monday. Opportunity Day. So exciting. So this week we are talking about growth mindset, which I'm actually really excited about because this is a challenge for me. So
Me too. I think it's something we're learning about right now.
I need to talk about it.
Yeah.
If you're not familiar with it, Carol Dweck has a great TED Talk on it. She's actually the first person that exposed me to it. Basically, it's the idea that our brains can get smarter.
Novel idea.
Yeah,
It actually is, though.
Right. Because for a long time, it was like, whatever your IQ is, that's what your IQ is. Too bad, so sad. You're not so bright.
Yeah,
you know?
just kind of, you get the cards you're dealt and you deal with it.
Right. And so growth mindset is the idea that you're never really stuck. You can change.
Yeah, so some of the reason we might feel like we're stuck, right? Like, there's just can't see the path ahead. It's like, well, I can't actually proceed here. Like, whether it's a job we're trying to accomplish or that's the main one I thought of. Like, I can't actually do this. How am I supposed to grow and proceed on? I actually could.
Today, since it's Monday, we're going to talk about calm. If you're new to the show, we work our way through the CSCs. They are being calm, surrendered, centered, connected, and complete. We do one every weekday as a reminder because we all could use a reminder.
And the CSCs are kind of the foundation we built our spiritual life on. These come back to these 5 basic big ideas when instead of turning to a vice or something, it's like, how do we reconnect with our faith here actually in this moment? Because my connection with God is what I really need.
Right.
And these are 5 big ways to do that. But yeah, calm. Mm-hmm. Growth mindset. When I come across a problem, I can't handle. I don't feel like I have a growth mindset. I just feel like
Yep.
it's. Oh, you're saying yeah for me?
No, I'm agreeing with you. For me, like that's totally. I get stuck in this like fear of failure. I don't know if it was caught or taught growing up, but definitely that idea that like whatever you can do well the first time you do it, that means that's what you should be doing. And if it takes practice, there's a few exceptions, but if it takes practice, then you're just not good at that. Too bad. So sad.
I wonder I wonder if I had something similar but the way I saw it was more of a like, well, if it's kind of easy enough, do that and just slough off the harder stuff. Like, especially in school, like
I do not understand at all. Go ahead.
But it's kind of what you just said, isn't it?
Yeah, but I guess maybe it's because school was never hard for me, so I can't imagine sloughing
that being hard.
Yeah, I can't sloughing off. Imagine scuff. I can't imagine sloughing off school in general. Like,
you should see the look on her face.
Yeah, it's school. School is fun. School is the funnest part of your day. Why would you ignore it or skip it?
It was not the funnest part of my day.
Well.
But anyway, I feel like just kind of, not really pinball, but kind of like, you test
path of least resistance.
Yeah. But then, it didn't work. Once I became an adult, it wasn't a very good way of life. And I hadn't, some things I'd pushed through, and I had some good mentors for some stuff. Like playing music was one. Like I didn't practice enough, probably. Like I didn't become Beethoven, but it's definitely something that's a huge part of my life now, and I really enjoy it. And I feel like I'm good enough at it to do some damage or whatever. And that's because of some crucial moments where I was at one of those places where I'm like, this is probably just isn't for me. And I had someone who was like, hang in there, you know.
Yeah.
But there were other times where I came across things like that, and I was like, I'm just going to go around this one. And so you can see where that kind of calm was gone, and it was just like, walk around this, do something
Right.
different, not, instead of pushing into it.
Well, and this is such a critical principle for growth mindset because if you're not calm, your brain does not create new neural pathways.
Yeah.
And growth mindset is about how do we create those new neural pathways. So you can't be anxious, stressed, overwhelmed, and still be in growth mindset. I think that's so key to remember because I think sometimes we're like, okay, I'm going to push through this, but we don't ever address our calm. We're just still in like, I'm stressed out and I'm pushing through mode. And that that never leads to success.
Right. Well, how do you get reconnected with your calm then? Because I think that's what helped me was having someone else be like, okay, I know you want to quit, but here's, I'm not going to tell you what to do either, but I'm going to tell you, I think you can do this.
Right.
And listen, you know, like having another person there is huge.
That sounds so nice. Well, I've never had that. So, I mean, other than you, of course. But otherwise, tapping is my big one just because it's something you can do by yourself. And I tend to just run to the Lord and be like, I can't do this. I'm so stressed out. And then I do my tapping and I'm like, okay, yep, right. What's true? Oh, I'm in scarcity mode right now, like we talked about last week. And that's why I'm freaking out because I feel like I'm not enough. The situation is impossible.
Yeah.
You know, I'm falling into fear of failure and comparing myself with other people and
So running to the Lord. But we do that kind of help resetting thing with each other all the time.
Right. Well, that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
With you, totally.
Sure.
But I don't know that I ever had anybody growing up that was like, good job, you can do this.
Oh, man. Boy.
It was always just like, why aren't you doing this yet?
That's rough. I don't feel like I had a whole crowd full of people cheering me on, but I can just remember some very key moments where there was very specific people helping me with very specific things. And like I said, in general, it was like, oh, no, this is hard. How can I pretend to do good enough at this to get by, and while I really focus on something else?
You're so opposite. I cannot pretend to be good at anything. Like, no.
That's because you're actually good at so much. You don't have to.
I'm just such a perfectionist that like the idea of having it not actually be perfect, but trying to like make it look perfect. No.
Wow. So I'm never shot for perfection. That's good enough, you know.
Right. Yes. Well, and I think that is, you know, that's one of the things that I struggle with, going back to your having people along in your key moments. Like maybe one of the reasons why I don't have that is because I have a hard time reaching out and being like, hey, I'm really struggling with this.
I think that's a key part.
And so.
Yeah. And you're right. And I think you even had a hard time trusting God with that too. Like,
oh, yeah. I did not trust the Lord until I was 23. That was the first time in my life. It was about a decade of being a Christian before I finally was like, okay, yeah, I do trust God. I had a lot of stuff I had to work through first, though.
Sure. But some of this stuff's impossible to work through on our own. I mean, especially for me, getting back to calm. I mean, I guess sometimes I can calm myself down. You know, we've been practicing meditating and stuff like that. But often it takes voicing the ick to someone else.
Right.
That's the quickest way for me.
Well, and you are a type 2, so.
Yeah, and I'm a verbal processor. Mm-hmm. You write everything down.
Yep. I think part of it is reaching out to people, reaching out to the Lord and his, like for me, one of the things that I like to snap back into, one of those railroad track things that's been so helpful with this growth mindset stuff is that God designed us with room for failure, which is just, I don't know, that's been so life-changing for me.
That is interesting, yeah. Go on. I mean, we need that, don't we?
Right. Well, and, if God didn't design us with room for failure, he would have made it so that when we're born, we could, walk and talk. And like there are plenty of animals that are precocial.
Wow.
Had to pull that out from studying zoology with the girls. Yeah. The precocial animals, when they're born, they're like good to go within a couple hours.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, a lot of like the deer kind of breeds.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. There are different birds that are that way too. Yeah.
That's crazy.
And they already, they're fully functional when they're born, whereas we are not fully functional when we're born. And recognizing that and recognizing that that's God's design. Like God's design is for us to make mistakes, learn from them, and grow.
Yeah. Yeah, right. And I also think we want to look at our, my motivation for getting help often came from desperation, and that's where the growth mindset is really going to come in when it's not, you don't really need it when stuff's easy. That's not growth mindset. So this is something that's going to need to come into play when the going gets tough. And that's going to be our signal to be like, I mean, it's hard, but could I have a better growth mindset about this? Or I'm just going to write this off, but is that really what I want to do right now?
Right. Well, and I think it doesn't necessarily mean false calm. Sometimes I think we try and force calm, force things to push away our emotions, numb everything out, and be like, yep, that's calm. I'm not freaking out anymore. But it does mean, voicing those feelings, whether you're voicing them to someone else, voicing them to the Lord, writing them down, whatever that looks like, and recognizing, okay, yep, this feels gross and I don't like it, but I'm going to move forward anyway because that's the kind of person I want to be.
Or because I know answering God's call means taking this step forward.
Right.
I'm not responding well to God not taking this step. It's very important.
Right. Yeah, one of the things I wrote down is to celebrate failure as an evidence of stepping out and learning and getting smarter. So
sounds good.
Hopefully that gives you guys some stuff to think about. I know I need to think about it and work on it this week because growth mindset is so huge. And as Christians, we're constantly called to grow and learn and develop. I mean, that's the essence of sanctification. And if we're not doing it, that's a problem.
If you want to see some of those commands, I was actually just thinking about this for my Sunday school class, but I searched grow in grace, because often Paul will talk about growing in grace and truth. Or you could search grace and truth. There's a number of places in the epistles and some in the Gospels where we're commanded to grow, to have a growth mindset. It's right. I mean, it doesn't say growth mindset, but we're supposed to be growing and changing all the time as Christians.
Yeah.
Mention that.
It's awesome. All right. We love you guys and we're praying for you. Pick today whether today is going to be awesome or not awesome. And if you pick not awesome, pick again.
Try again.
Yes, because we have a choice. You have a choice today. Make your choice. Thanks to everybody that's been sharing the show and listening to the show. We really appreciate it. If you have found this podcast helpful, please do continue to share it. And if you haven't signed up for our email list and you would like to not miss episodes, do that. Because we send out here's what we've been talking about this week list. And here's what we'll be talking about next week. Come back tomorrow and we're going to talk about growth mindsets more and how surrender plays into that.
Sounds good. See you then.
Bye.